Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Good morning, and good morning. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome. Welcome to a fun day full of streams. We are ending some stuff today, which will be interesting, but we're also continuing on with certain playthroughs. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's going to be a full day of streaming fun as usual here. I got a lot to talk about this morning, news-wise. So I'm going to try to get through the schedule portion of this pre-stream as quickly as possible so that I can actually talk about all the gaming news that came out this morning. There's a ton of gaming news that came out this morning. Good stuff. So let's get started, okay? First of all, today is Friday, the 6th of November, 2020. The countdown to big new releases and new consoles continues. It's right around the corner. Obviously, everyone is super hyped and excited. Everyone on the internet's talking about it. Me too. So, good stuff. I want to say thanks to those of you who are going to hang out with me this weekend. As we say, the calm before the gaming storm, right? The last chance for us to kind of have some chill streams and everything before we head into the craziness that's going to be non-stop new releases next week. Okay? So, welcome to the stream. Today, on this first gameplay stream, we continue our journey through Watch Dogs Legion. A game that admittedly is not as good as Watch Dogs 2. At the same time, yesterday we played a little bit further into the game, and there actually was a pretty interesting story arc in the plot that was very entertaining, to me at least. I actually liked it a lot, and we got to see, for the first time ever, what happens, number one, if you get one of your agents arrested in London, and then we got to see what happens if one of your agents dies. And the answer is not a hell of a lot. If they get arrested, they're not available for about 30 in-game real-time minutes, which you could just easily just grab a different agent and go do other stuff, right? Until they're available again if you need them for a particular mission. It's not that big of a deal. If they get killed, it's also not that big of a deal, because they're disposable characters. As we've been saying the entirety of the playthrough so far, these are not characters with backstories. These are not characters who really get fleshed out. In fact, every character has exactly the same dialogue in every single mission that they perform in. It's just a different voice actor who does it. So even though my drone expert died during a mission, within 10 to 15 minutes, I was able to complete a borough, which is those missions. There's 3 particular missions per each borough of London. And if you do those missions, you do a final mission to liberate that borough, and then you get a new specialist recruited to your team. So I lost my drone expert, did 4 quick missions that took about 20 minutes, and then I got another drone expert back that is exactly the same as my old one, except instead of being Indian, this one is Asian. But outside of that, it didn't matter. It's the same exact person's abilities and everything. I was like, wow. Talk about disposable. And sadly, that's one of the criticisms that I had of the game early on when we heard about Watch Dogs Legion, was that if these characters are not meaningful, then what's the point? And that's kind of, sadly, the shortcoming of this game. None of the characters you use are meaningful or memorable, because you can easily just get more right away. And, one of the major criticisms I think of the game is going to be, we know why they did this, so that they can microtransact the fuck out of the game. Right now, you could spend like $30 and get like 3-4 elite agents to your team who are completely disposable but have great abilities. And they'll allow you to coast through the game without much difficulty. And I think that's what they were going for, is they wanted people to be able to just drop a ton of extra money on the game and turbo through it. Okay? So, now that we're this far into the game, we're understanding this, alright? Now, what I'm hoping for today is more good story. We unlocked 2 new story arcs, one of which is the culmination of a story arc that we've already been doing. This gangster who's creating a slave trade in London by implanting microchips inside of people. So that's one plot line. Then we got another plot line that seems to be completely new, and I don't really know what it's going to be yet. It's someone who apparently sends out a distress call from like a coffee shop or something like that. So, I guess we'll see. Another major stream of Watch Dogs Legion today. Now, I'm going to say exactly the same thing I said yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this game is not as good as Watch Dogs 2. We're all in agreement, right? We're all collectively saying, yeah, this game isn't as good as the last one. It's kind of disappointing. But this next week, on Tuesday, we've got a double new release with Assassin's Creed and Yakuza 7. Later on this week, it's the release of the PS5 and a ton of new games. And then at the end of this week, we got the release of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That being said, I need to finish this game in a short period of time because I need to have it done and not be a lingering playthrough for when all those exorbitant amount of new games are coming out. Alright? So please understand, that's why I'm playing this game so much. Normally, I would drag out, or not really drag out, but I would balance a playthrough with many other things over a period of time so as to avoid burnout, right? That's usually my strategy. But in this case, I can't do that. I have to finish this game over the course of this weekend. If I don't, it's just going to be a lingering playthrough that's not going to be unfinished, and it's going to leave everyone disappointed. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Please understand that. Please don't sit here and complain constantly that you don't like the game and the game sucks. If that's the case, if you don't want to sit here and watch Watch Dogs Legion, you feel the game's not entertaining to watch, and you don't feel that just simply hanging out with me and other people in the stream chat is enough to entertain you for this, don't stick around. Come back tonight when I'm doing something different. Come back on Tuesday when we got a double new release day. I'm not going to put up with people just sitting here constantly shitting on the game and being negative. You know, there are people who come to my streams, regardless of what I play, to have a good time. They come here to unplug from all the drama of the real world, and my God, do we have a lot of drama going on right now in America. So we all need to unplug and have a good time today. That's the purpose of the stream. Even if you don't like the game, you could still enjoy the stream, okay? So if you're coming here just to complain, please don't. You could leave and you can come back later, all right? I'm just asking you for that courtesy. You know, there's enough people here who want to have a good time that we don't want to have their good time now derailed, because the other day we had a bunch of people doing just that, sitting in the chat, oh, this game sucks, and I got multiple complaints after the stream. People were like, Phil, you know, I'm here just to have a good time on your stream. Why do you allow people to just sit here and shit constantly on the game and basically make it so that no one has a good time in the stream chat? And you're like, you know, fair enough, you guys are correct. I can't allow that anymore. So please understand that. It's one thing to criticize the game, it's another thing to just purposely sit here and shit on the stream constantly and ruin it for everyone. I'm not going to have that, okay? So, that's that. Major stream of Watch Dogs Legion today. Continuing on from where we left off yesterday, we're going to start up one of the two major story plot lines and see where it goes. Okay? One other thing. Okay? Some people have said, this movement started yesterday, and I don't understand where this movement came from, because it's obvious these people have not been watching the playthrough. This playthrough's boring because Phil is doing all drone gameplay. We really wish that he would do combat, because he's avoided combat the whole playthrough, and therefore, is he going to do variety in the game or not? Did you not watch the first half of the game? The entire first half of the game, I didn't have a drone expert. I was using sneaking with a cloak, takedowns, hand-to-hand combat, which, by the way, the hand-to-hand combat absolutely sucks. It's really shitty. And gunplay. I had the spy for an entire stream. I was using the spy, and I was using his silenced gun to just run in and shoot absolutely everything. Now, the spy is a tank. He has an ability that gives him more health, so he basically can tank out everything, okay? So if you didn't see that, I don't know what to tell you. I did it for probably 6 to 7 hours of the playthrough before I got the drone expert. And then once I got the drone expert, I realized, wow, this game actually is more entertaining to play and watch if you use the drones. Because otherwise, it's just a very generic cover-based shooter sneaker. Kind of like, you know, Metal Gear Solid, but also with really crappy gunplay and melee combat. It's just not very good in that regard. If you play it like that, it's not a very good game. Okay? So, what's the point of complaining if you didn't watch the playthrough? Because that's what it is. People just want to complain again to bring down the game and bring down the stream instead of actually believing that I played it in that way. I did. There's entire 2 streams where I didn't have a drone expert, so you're talking 8-9 hours of gameplay until I got the drone expert where I played it like that, and it wasn't very good. That was mostly the beginning of the game where it was kind of really shitty, and I can imagine trying to do that now, it would be even worse, because now the missions are getting harder, there's more security around and everything. So you're talking really boring gameplay of just generic third-person shooter crap, right? I don't want to have the game be that. You know, I've played a million for third-person shooters. This game is different in that you can do drones. You can use drones to hack. You can use drones to go around and sneak and take stuff out. That's at least where, in my opinion, it shines a bit. That's what I want to focus on, not doing third-person shooter gameplay. I already did, right? So, spamming the chat with, I wish Phil would just do something different. I wish Phil would do variety. You missed it. The variety is what I'm doing now. You missed the gunplay earlier because you weren't watching the playthrough, and that's not my fault. So stop spamming my chat with bullshit, because that's not going to fly either, all right? Please understand, I'm trying to get through this game, and, you know, I'm doing it in my best ability, and right now using drones, it seems to be the best way to go about most missions. Not every single mission, but most missions, okay? If the drone expert gets killed again, chances are I'm going to go back to the spy and do other kinds of gameplay like that, but I've been there, done that, all right? So please stop spouting mistruths in my stream chat just because you weren't around or didn't watch the playthrough, okay? Okay. Now, that's the main gameplay stream today. Later tonight, it's the continuation and conclusion of Pokemon Sword after a year. That's right, it was November of last year when Pokemon Sword was originally released, and I started it as an ongoing playthrough, okay? Well, it all ends tonight. On my late stream, what we're going to do is try to wrap up collection of as many Pokemon as I can get. I guess there's Ultra Beast Pokemon that have been unlocked now in the Crown Tundra area. And so we're going to try to check that out. I think people were saying they're in the Dynamax dungeon, so I might go back to the Dynamax dungeon for a run or two and see what happens there. And then just kind of go around and try to finish up what I don't have. I know there's a couple Pokemon I need to downbreed, and there may be just a few more to catch, and that's it. It's just going to be a 2-hour chill stream of Pokemon catching, trying to round out the Pokedex. And no, I'm not going to 100% the Pokedex this time. From what I'm going to understand, people are like, it's crazy the amount of Pokemon they added into the game for this final DLC. Most of them aren't even in the Pokedex. People were like, yeah, there's 30 more legendaries that they added to the game randomly that you need to know specifically where they are to get them. And they're incredibly hard to catch, and they're not in the Pokedex. Like, well, I'm not doing it then. You know, it's one thing if it was similar to the last DLC or Pokemon Sword's original release where the Pokedex had all the Pokemon listed and you could figure out, you know, okay, I got this one left, how do I get it? If it's not like that, then I just don't care, all right? But it's going to be a 2-hour late night Pokemon stream and the conclusion of Pokemon Sword. After tonight, there will be no further Pokemon Sword gameplay. This is the send-off stream. So if you've enjoyed the Pokemon Sword playthrough that I did in the last year, and you want to say goodbye to Pokemon, I hope you'll join me tonight for the big finale. Okay? Fair enough? Alright, good. Tomorrow, Saturday, more Watch Dogs Legion. Okay? Again, trying to get through the game over the weekend. And then Saturday night will be the conclusion of the Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope Alternate Choices playthrough. In this playthrough, I've tried to purposely make choices that were different from my first run. Some of these I've definitely succeeded, such as changing the way that one of the main characters dies in the intro segment, making the characters actually have affinity for each other instead of being angry with each other. Alright, I've been trying to do these different choices, and we're going to see how those all pan out Saturday night. Will I get a different ending, right? Will I maybe earn some new trophies? I don't know. We got to see what happens. But that's going to be, I feel like all the choices that I made are going to be in a culmination, alright? A culmination of gameplay and changes and choices and consequences on Saturday night. So I hope you'll be here for that. Okay? And then on Sunday, if all goes according to plan, hopefully that will be the conclusion of Watch Dogs Legion. I figure if I'm focusing on it for the next 3 days, that would be like 10 to 12 more hours of gameplay. Hopefully I'll beat it on Sunday. Alright? And be able to get my final impressions. And then Sunday night, it's going to be a 2-hour chill stream of Genshin Impact. Now, the only exception here would be, let's say I'm really close to the end of Watch Dogs Legion and I don't beat it on Sunday, then I may actually just play it again on Sunday night to finish the game. Because like I said, my goal is to try to finish the game before the new releases this next week. Okay? So, that's the weekend, alright? Now, if that doesn't sound good to you, fine, fair enough. I understand. But we got so much new stuff coming up next week, I can't imagine that you guys wouldn't be entertained by the stuff coming up. Starting on, well, Monday's my day off for the week. Starting on Tuesday, it's the release of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Yakuza 7. That's going to continue for 2 days. Then at some point on Thursday, the 12th, I'm supposed to get my PS5. in which case I'll be hooking it up, doing a live unboxing, walking through the dashboards, getting all the settings going with the audio and the video, seeing what's available at launch, trying out the new 3D Pulse headphones that are also supposed to show up that very same day, downloading games. You know, it's going to be fun. I just don't know when the console is showing up, which kind of hinders my ability to tell you guys exactly what I'm doing when. But I will definitely be covering it as soon as it shows up. Okay? And then all those new games, I mean, Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Bugsnax are the 3 that stand out to me as the 3 games that I want to play right away when I get the console. But of course, after that, there's going to be much more. All right? Much more coming up, including the Astros Playroom game, Sackboy, Godfall, etc. If I can, I'd like to transfer over my playthrough of, at the very least, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know if it's going to work with Yakuza, but I'd like to transfer over whatever game playthroughs I can from the PS4 to the PS5 to continue them there. And then, of course, later on that week, I think Friday, or this coming week, Friday, so a week from today, it's the release of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. All right, so that's another whole bag of worms with the campaign, the multiplayer, Warzone, and everything, even though I'm not planning on doing much in Warzone. So, yeah, good stuff coming up. I certainly hope that you guys will join me for all this. This is going to be one of the craziest gaming weeks of the entire year because of it, all right? Then after that, essentially what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, you know, is balancing all these new releases and trying to get through them and cover them and give you my full opinion on the PlayStation 5 as a console, the launch coverage and everything, and go from there. All right? So it's going to be wild. A wild week coming up for sure. I can guarantee you with all the new games and the console showing up, we're going to get a lot of attendance here on the streams, a lot of new people swinging in, a lot of people who haven't been around in a while are going to be coming back. So it's going to be pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, this weekend is the calm before the storm of the explosion of activity that's going to be happening all over the internet with these new consoles. Okay? Fair enough? Alright, good stuff. Now, very quickly, we have a sub goal for this month, 825 subscriptions. If we hit that concurrent amount of subscriptions at any point during November, I'll be doing a holiday marathon event, by which I'll be playing a variety of video games, some of which I will select, and most of those will probably be multiplayer games, but also games that you'll be nominating for me to play during that marathon as well. During that time, I will also be dressed up in holiday attire and drinking, likely some beer, maybe some eggnog, maybe something else harder, who knows, but we'll see. And usually this event is quite good. You guys really like it. Last year in particular, you guys said the event went down really well. So I'm looking forward to more of that this year. All right. But we have to hit 825 subs. If we do hit that, I'll look into a tier 2 subs goal, etc. But please consider subbing to the channel. Right now, many benefits to subbing, including having access to over 40 different emotes, including the brand spanking new Bugsnax emote. That emote is pretty cool and celebrates all the new releases this month. Also, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. And it will also allow you to skip advertisements. That's right. If I take an ad break or whatever, if you're a paid sub, you don't have to watch it. So I hate ads. I know you do too. It's good stuff. Also, please, guys, if you support the channel, if you support the content, if you're excited for all the new stuff coming up shortly, all right, please consider contributing to today's streams. The best way you can contribute is by tipping me, because tips is funds that I can use right away to buy all these games the next week, and there's going to be a ton of them. So any support is very greatly appreciated right now, all right? As usual on my streams, we have rewards tiers. If I raise $50 in tips today, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. For $100 in tips, I'll put on a vest. Now, last night, we actually did hit the vest goal, which was amazing, and thank you to those who were here last night for Street Fighter to allow me to do that. So any vest today is eligible except the platinum. All right? That would be beige, blue, red, camo, gray, all eligible. If we do happen to somehow, by a freak chance, because it almost never happens these days, double the tips goal today, I will put on the cowboy hat in celebration. As silly as that sounds, people have wanted that, so I will do that. So let's see what happens today during the Watch Dogs Legion stream. And thank you in advance to anyone who's considering contributing. I really, really, really appreciate that. And thank you in advance. All right? Now let's move on to gaming news, because we've got a ton of gaming news this morning. All right? First of all, before I get to official like news stories, what I would like to say is shout out to Super Blind Man who put out his anticipated video about the accessibility features for the blind for the PlayStation 5. All right? He does a really in-depth video where he covers the screen reader functionality on PS5. You should all check it out if you're interested in accessibility. If not, I don't know how much you're going to like it, but if you are interested in the accessibility of the PlayStation 5, he's one of the people who got an early console in order to review said features, and I think he did a good job, and, you know, it's a very informative video, and the news is good. Apparently the accessibility features are quite good. All right, so check it out. It's at Super Blind Man over on Twitter. You can find all his stuff, and he put up the video there and everything. I don't have the direct link to the video right now, but you just check out his Twitter, okay? That's number one. Number two, speaking of the new console coverage, today was the day, the last 24 hours, the embargoes finally lifted, where now all the people who got the early consoles could finally review them, all right? So basically, the past 2 weeks that they all had them, no one could say a fucking negative thing about any of these consoles. It was all basically paid advertisement, anything they said, because they weren't allowed to be negative. Finally, they're now allowed to be negative, all right? Although mostly they haven't been. Most people are just kissing the console's butt anyway. But the reviews are coming out. People are saying things about the Xbox Series X. People are saying various things about the PlayStation 5. And the thing that I found the most hilarious about all of this is IGN's coverage. I just have to call out IGN, and I'm sorry. I know calling out IGN at this point in the gaming community is kind of like, you know, taking the dead horse and digging it back up out of its grave and then, like, curb stomping it, you know. But I just find it hilarious that IGN still, first of all, that anyone takes them seriously at this point is such a hilarious thing. Like, we all know from just the past several years, they literally will put the worst people in a place to review a game. Someone who has no context of a game or just doesn't understand what the fuck a game's supposed to be. And their game reviews half the time are terrible. People who are terrible at games, trying to review games. It's like, it's ludicrous. The crap that they put out there in the guise of journalism. Okay? But the thing that I have to call out today and laugh at, IGN put out their reviews for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 today, and they gave them number scores. Number scores, as if these were games being reviewed. Okay? First of all, why the fuck do we need a number score for a console that just released and you can't play many games for? I mean, it doesn't, like, I'm baffled. Like, you really can't tell, in my opinion, the quality of a console until maybe a year after it's released. Because you can say everything you want about early impressions, and that's exactly what it is. Early impressions, right? But a console is not a 20 to 40 hour gameplay experience where you can play it from start to finish and officially review it and give it a number score. A console is an evolving piece of hardware that over a course of time, you will see how it performs, you will see how developers utilize it, and you can't really review a game console until, number one, it's fucking released. Number two, a wide variety of people have their hands on said console to dabble in it, mess with it, and see exactly what it's capable of. And number three, until some time has passed to see the initial slew of games, how they perform and everything, to actually give a number score to a game console at launch is incredibly irresponsible, incredibly unprofessional, and quite frankly, IGN should be publicly shamed for thinking that they are some kind of a fucking authority, that their opinion and giving a number score to a console that's not out yet is valid. They are so up their own fucking ass with elitist moronic shit. I just can't believe they think that they could give a number score to a console that's not even out yet. They're out of their fucking minds. Alright? But the worst part about this is that there's people out there who still think IGN is reputable and they will believe what they say. That's the worst part. When the ignorant people, IGN, are the first 3 letters of ignorant. Guess who watches and reads IGN content? The ignorant. And they believe it as like Bible truth because they're one of the big gaming media outlets. All right? I think it's fucking stupid and hilarious. Okay? Now, the thing that's the worst out of this whole situation is that IGN, as usual, shows zero balls. They become the ultimate gaming journalism pussies reviewing these consoles. Literally kissing the consoles' asses every moment. Very few actual criticisms put into their reviews, which is very disingenuous. It's supposed to be a review, not a paid advertisement. Yet, they read like paid advertisements. Alright? And then ultimately, even though in the actual reviews, which I read, they weigh pros and cons of each console. And if you actually read the reviews and put them head to head, it's very simple. IGN is saying they like the PlayStation 5 more than the Xbox Series X. Now, they give certain reasons. For example, they say the DualSense controller is revolutionary and it really adds a new aspect to the games that are on PS5. Although they do outright say it's really going to depend on the developers. Because what if some developers just don't care about the DualSense and put no features into their games for it? Then obviously it's a moot point. It doesn't matter if the DualSense exists if the developers don't utilize it, right? But if you actually read the articles, right, and you put them head to head and you stack up positives and negatives, basically what IGN is saying is that it seems like possibly the booting time and the ability to resume games on the Xbox Series X is better and faster, but that it feels like the PlayStation 5 is more of a new console because of the DualSense and a few other minor features here or there. So they're basically saying we feel the PS5 is better. But then they number scored them both an 8. And this is what I hate about fucking mainstream gaming journalists. They're pussies. They will not, when it comes to the big companies, Microsoft, Sony, or the giant publishers, you know, that are owned by Microsoft or Sony, they will never, ever be honest and take a chance and be like, no, we're outright saying we feel PlayStation 5 is better than Xbox Series X at launch, which they say in their actual reviews if you read them. But instead, they give them both an 8. Why do they do that? Because they want to look good in the eyes of both consoles. They don't want Microsoft or Sony to look at them and say, oh, so you think the other guys are better. And then they're afraid, they're so deathly afraid that if they did that and they said PS5's 8.5 while Xbox Series X is an 8, they're afraid that Microsoft now will say, oh, so fuck you at launch. You think that they're better? Well, we're not going to send you the exclusives anymore. We're not going to give you the exclusive behind-the-scenes interviews and the coverage you need for your media outlet to succeed in the future, man, because you didn't give us the benefit of the doubt at launch, so fuck you. They're so deathly afraid that they say the consoles are the same when they outright are not if you just read their reviews. I hate it. I hate the dishonesty of mainstream gaming media. They're such fucking cowards. They're so terrified that they're going to like go out of business and that some company will not hold them in high regard because they're honest. That's why I hate it. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, I will forever support someone like Super Blind Man, got the console early, took his time, did an in-depth review about the accessibility features, was honest about it, and put out a really good video review. That review will be far more useful to a group of people who need that information in order to know if they're going to drop $500 on a PlayStation 5, will they be able to play it and navigate it? That video will be infinitely more useful than anything IGN puts out about these consoles because it's actual, valid, legitimate information versus ass-kissing. So, fuck IGN. Okay, let's move on. Another story that came out this morning, in regards again to the new consoles, we should talk about it. All right. One of the major things we've been saying about the Xbox Series S and X is that sadly, these consoles will just not have any real console exclusive games at all at launch. And if you actually looked at the window and the release schedule of games that were coming out, the first major game that was supposed to be a launch title was Halo Infinite. That's indefinitely delayed now, and we don't even know when it's coming out. But the next game that was supposedly going to be a console exclusive, what I mean by that console exclusive, I mean it's also going to be on PC, but when it comes to consoles, it was supposed to be a game called The Medium. and this is supposed to be a supernatural game from the makers of Tomb Raider, I believe, and it was supposed to have this aspect, you're going between two different worlds, like the astral plane and the real world, and it looked pretty good from the information that we saw of it so far, and it was supposed to come out sometime in December. So everyone was basically saying, okay, if you're really looking for exclusive content on the Xbox consoles, December. Well, this morning, the Medium got delayed until the end of January. So, here we go again. Listen, I'm not trying to shit on Microsoft or the Xbox Series X or S. I'm not. But it just doesn't seem to be getting any better for these guys. Number one, 0 games that are console exclusives at launch. Not to say that the PlayStation 5 has a ton. PS5 has Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and what's the Astro's Playroom, right? And Godfall. So it has 4. But it has 4. You see, it has games. Xbox has 0. And they were supposed to get one in December, and now they're not getting one until the end of January. And it's like, really, if you had a choice between these two consoles and it's about playing new games, I can't understand why someone would choose the Xbox. Outside of brand loyalty, maybe you really like Microsoft and the Xbox and it's a brand loyalty thing for you and you're going to use Game Pass to get games, essentially on a subscription-based service for a big discounted rate in the future, the promise in the future that things are going to be better. Fair enough, I can understand that reasoning. But if you're talking launch window, I seriously can't imagine why someone would have chosen the Xbox Series X or S over the PlayStation 5 solely on the availability of games. Unless you just want to replay all the games you already fucking played, why are you getting an Xbox? The Medium was the one game, and it's funny because when I said to everyone I did get a pre-order in for PS5, but I was not able to get one in for an Xbox Series X, people were like, oh man, you're really going to miss out on the Medium. That's the big one that everyone's talking about. And now it's delayed. It's like, well, I'm not missing anything, right? I mean, when will the Xbox Series X be available just for purchase in stores? I don't know. I definitely want to get one. You guys know me. I want to get one. I want to have both new next-gen consoles. I want to be able to compare them against each other. I want to be able to have all the first-party games that are going to be coming out. I mean, the Bethesda acquisition was a huge thing for Microsoft. We all agree, right? But I'm just like scratching my head. How can you in your right mind, unless you're just a Microsoft loyalist, right? How can you argue that console is worth getting at launch and PlayStation 5 is not? I'm just like, I'm lost. Okay? But anyway, obviously that's some pretty bad news, right? Now, it's time for some more news. Now, this has nothing to do with the next-gen consoles, all right? But Square Enix reporting quarterly results. The news is not good. They lost money. They lost a lot of money. You want to know why they lost money? Marvel's Avengers. The game that was super duper hyped for a year and a half. The game that was supposed to be, the giant game from Square Enix this whole second half of the year. The game that they were expecting people to buy and play like crazy. It's not just a game. This game's going to be going on for years and years, and we got a roadmap for this game where we're going to put out all this content. You're going to want to play it with your friends over and over, and not so much. First of all, for those of you who played the game, like me, the story was pretty good, admittedly. I liked the story of the game. Some people had issue that the main character seemed to be Kamala Khan, who is Ms. Marvel, and a relative newcomer to the Marvel Universe. Instead of really focusing mostly on the Avengers, it was more like her story. But I was okay with that. I didn't mind too much. I think the writing was good. I thought that the game was pretty good in that regard. But the story was what, like 12 to 15 hours long? And then after that, the game becomes an open world, cooperative grinding game where what you're expected to do is these instances, dungeons, and fights over and over and over ad nauseum to get loot. It's a co-op looter game. All right? Now, I got to ask something here. All right? You are the big wigs at Square Enix. All right? And you've got oh my God, we got rights to you make an Avengers game. This is a game that's almost guaranteed to print money because Marvel is white hot with their Infinity War and Endgame movies. And we really can do something here, bring the Marvel games into the modern era. There was just Marvel Spider-Man, that was a hugely successful game. We've got the Avengers property. We could do this. What do? Right? Well, let's think about it. Let's make a game that's a co-op looter game. You know, like Fallout 76 and Anthem, those games that have been so successful, right? Like, I don't understand these game studios that try to jump on the coattails of other game makers and also just try to ride a fad when the fad's over. The era of the co-op looter is over. It was a fad that lasted about 4 to 5 years. You had games like Destiny 1 and 2, The Division 1 and 2. These games were very, very popular. They made a ton of money, and because of that, it seems like everyone is like, we gotta make one. Right? We gotta make one. Well, guess what? Not everyone is going to be successful. If you look at the past 2+ years, every co-op looter game that comes out is kind of unsuccessful. Even the giant properties like Fallout and Anthem, the new game from the makers of fucking Mass Effect, if they couldn't succeed doing it, what makes you just think that throwing the Marvel IP, intellectual property, at it is somehow going to make it successful? Like, to me, when I heard that Avengers was going to be this kind of game, I was like, oh, come on, right? And I was clearly hoping, as you know, as I talked about the game over the past year and a half, that there would be enough meat to the campaign of the game that at least it would support a $60 purchase for the single-player campaign, because I knew I was not going to be playing this as a games-as-a-service model. I was not going to be going back to it over and over to grind with a crew. Oh man, we gotta do this high-level raid, bro. We gotta take out this level 77 giant mech so it drops a fucking piece of a helmet that I can slap on my head and give me another stat point. Like, there's certain genres where it works, and again, it did work. The whole co-op looter game genre was popular for a while. But much like the Battle Royale fad, it dies out at some point. You couldn't expect today, in 2020, someone puts out a brand new Battle Royale game and it's going to blow up and be successful. We've got too many of them, you know? Just think about it. We got way too many of them for that to even Fortnite, the biggest one, isn't nearly as successful anymore as it was just 2 years ago. Most people don't even talk about Fortnite anymore. There is a dedicated group for it, but there's no one going crazy for fucking Fortnite these days. So, why do you think you're going to jump on a fad 3 years too late and expect your game's going to be popular, right? It just blows my mind. So, the game comes out and initially has good sales based on the fact that it's Avengers, and people had pre-ordered this game for a long time, but the funny thing was people who played the demo or the beta or whatever weren't too impressed. A lot of people were kind of on the fence. Me, I played it and it ran like shit. Like, the actual frames per second performance was bad. Now, they were very wise, because what they put out in that beta was the intro segment. And quite frankly, the intro segment of the game is one of the best segments of the game. It has a boss fight that's unique, and it basically highlights the abilities of each of the heroes. After you get through that intro segment, the game's flaws get exposed because you realize it's nowhere near as good as that big cinematic segment at the beginning. And that's the problem with the game that most people realized. And the initial people who played it, bought it, and played it said, wow, this game isn't very good. It's pretty repetitive. After you beat the story, which is about 12 to 15 hours, there's just no meat to the game. There's no point. You're not going to want to endlessly grind because there's no end game content. You're just doing the same thing over and over. So what's the point? So, sadly, the fate of the game was, after a few weeks of this game being out, people just stopped playing it. And that's not what Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics, the game developers, had planned on. They had thought that people were going to continuously play this game, create this whole, internet culture around it. You know, some certain games, they have a big internet community that's vibrant and active around it, much like Destiny, much like Division. They thought this was going to happen. It didn't happen. In fact, it's the opposite. Okay? It's actually, most people dropped it, and within, say, 3 weeks of the game being out, people were having problems even getting into a game. They would sit down to play it and couldn't matchmake with anyone because no one was playing it in their region. So they couldn't even get into a game if they wanted to play it as games as a service, a long-term model. They couldn't even find people to play the fucking game with. And so Crystal Dynamics was struggling because they're like, man, we got to do something to improve the server matchmaking and everything because people can't play our game. People were buying the game 3 weeks later after it came out and couldn't even play it because they couldn't find anyone to match with. All right. So that being said, am I shocked to hear that the news came out this morning? Marvel's Avengers only sold roughly 60% of the copies that Square Enix had predicted it would, leaving a ginormous money deficit. Apparently, the game cost a ridiculous amount of money to make. I can't imagine why. The speculation is it took $100 million to make. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. You saw the game. You watched me play it, right? Did anything during the course of that game scream giant AAA title that cost $100 million to make? Like, I don't know where the money went. It certainly didn't go to the game. Maybe it went to the licensing for Avengers or whatever. But I don't know where all that development money went. But it wasn't into the core gameplay mechanics, and it wasn't into the structure of the game. Like, there's nothing in that game that screams to me innovative, that screams to me must play, or polished. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. The game's a little rough around the edges, and just seems to be one of these games that, you know, they just wanted to copy what other people had done and cram it into an Avengers-style game. So I can't imagine where the money went. If anything, the project must have been horribly mismanaged to blow $100 million on what came out of that game, right? But yeah, apparently they spent $100 million and only sold about 60% of the copies they had planned on selling. So it's a giant loss for the company. And they don't think they're going to make their money back either. Like, they're thinking the game's dead. Like, who's going to buy it at this point? What I could say is the only way they could save this game is if, let's say, in a few months, they have their first major expansion. And they sell the game now like, it wouldn't be Game of the Year edition, but you know how they sell those special editions of the games? So what if they re-release Marvel's Avengers and rebrand it to have, like, the 2 new characters they're going to release and a whole new story campaign that's, like, 10 hours long, and they sell it for, like, $30, right? If you sold that game for $30 and said it has 20 to 30 hours of story content, maybe then you could get people to buy in and jump in and buy it. But I can't imagine anyone going, after what we know about the game now, I can't imagine anyone going in and buying it for retail price, right? So I don't know how they think they're going to make their money. And the other thing is, if this game is a loss leader, like if this is one of the biggest things that Square Enix is losing money on, and they can't find a way to recoup their lost money, they may cut the cord. This is what companies do a lot. If you find a project you're working on is losing you tons of money and you're just not going to recoup your cost, they'll just say, forget it. We're not going to do ongoing development. And, you know, they've promised so far that they were going to make a Hawkeye expansion and a Spider-Man expansion. What's to stop Square Enix from saying, well, we didn't make our money, so fuck it, we're canceling those? Nothing, because they were free. They had promised free expansions and that you would never have to pay for DLC for the game. So they're not going to make any money on DLC purchases. So again, another reason, why are you going to dedicate game development time to a game that's not going to make you money on those expansions, right? So that's what I mean. Like, the only thing that I can see them recouping any cost at is if they try to sell this game as a discounted special edition that includes the new content and they sell it for a discounted price. Outside of that, this may be one of the biggest gaming flops of the recent 5-10 years. I mean, what a terrible story, right? I mean, what a disaster for them. So, I guess we're going to see what happens. But, yeah, I would not be shocked to hear that all the promises are not lived up to and they just cancel everything and the game is just shut down because it's a flop. I would hope that doesn't happen. I actually hope there's a way that they can make this game come back and make it better and live up to their promises, because there's a lot of people who bought this game on the premise they were told Spider-Man is coming, Hawkeye is coming, it's free content. So they said, oh, you know, maybe now it ain't so much for $60, but I'll buy it now and then I'll play it later. Keep in mind, this comes on the heels of just 2 weeks ago. We were told that this game would not have a next-gen version right away, as promised. We were told that this game would have a free upgrade for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, that it would run much better, perform much better on the new-gen consoles, and it would be a free upgrade for everyone. So don't worry, buy the game in September when it comes out, because when the new consoles come out, you'll get the upgraded version for free. And then 2 weeks ago, the news came out, nope, we lied. That's not happening anymore. You know, we may eventually do a next-gen version. We hope we could do it in 2021, but you know, it's basically indefinitely delayed because the game didn't sell well. So it's like, already, it started? already not living up to expectations and promises has started, and now we get the news that this game is the giant loss leader for Square Enix. It's not good. So, yikes, right? Holy crap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's it for the news, right? That's a lot of news to cover in one session. I actually got through it pretty quickly. So, let's get to shout-outs, ladies and gents. Those who have contributed, let's get some, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, Tanamounder did a 100-bit cheer overnight. Thank you, Tanamounder, for the 100-bit cheer overnight. Golden Colts did a couple overnight cheers. The first one, he says it was Equilibrium was concerned and reminded him to do overnight cheers. So he thinks that he's my #1 fan. Do I agree? Absolutely not. Okay. Continuing on, Golden Colts cheered again. He says, do you think dry gin is just low-quality vodka with juniper and bitters added? I must profess, I bought an expensive bottle of Bombay Sapphire the other day, and it doesn't even taste as good mixed with tonic as my Tito's vodka does. I don't really like it that much, but it feels silly to mix it basically with soda or juice in order to enjoy it. It depends. Okay? It depends. Because it depends on the vodka. Or, excuse me, it depends on the vodka and it depends on the gin. Alright? Just like everything. There's El Cheapo gins out there that are terrible, but there's also expensive gins out there that I feel are not very good. Bombay Sapphire I think is okay. I've had it like twice, and I think it's okay. Personally, I think that Tanqueray is better than Bombay Sapphire. I think the appeal of gin is that you get this aroma of citrus and aroma of like some kind of botanicals with it. So you get this refreshing, how can I say it? It's a refreshing air almost around it, right? If you're having a good cocktail with a good gin, you're going to get a scent, you're going to get a certain flavor that's going to like entice your taste buds and your nose. You know, you get the whole package from a good gin cocktail. Versus vodka, you don't get that from vodka. When you have a vodka cocktail, you smell nothing. You know what I mean? It's not the complete package. The flavor is there if you make a good cocktail with vodka. But that's correct. Yeah, zest. Galactic Reptile Kid. You almost get a zest from a good gin. Versus you don't get that with vodka at all. Vodka, you get a good flavor, but that's about it. You know, if I make a cocktail with a good gin, and it's a gin and tonic, or maybe it's, what's the oh man, I'm having a brain fart right now. Because I know there's a really good one that I've had with gin before, and now I can't remember what it is. It's not a Moscow Mule, because that's vodka. No, there's another one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, like, there's a few really good drinks you can make with gin that they just, it hits you good. It hits you, you're like, wow, the aroma, the flavor, it gives you, like, a total package experience. You don't get that with vodka, all right? But again, it depends on the preparation. If you're just talking straight up drinking vodka versus gin, in general, yes, gin should be giving you more. It should be giving you a botanical flavor. It should be giving you more. While straight vodka is just, straight vodka almost has no flavor to it. It's just like, boop, drinking needles, right? You should be getting flavor out of gin you don't get out of straight vodka, okay? But if you're talking, I just want to make a couple cocktails at home, and you're not going to be making anything special, I mean, yeah, chances are you may get just the same quality of liquor out of vodka as you would out of gin, and technically you can get vodka for probably cheaper than most gin. So, that's my take on it. I could be completely wrong, but that's my take from, you know, having different gins and things. Usually I get this nice botanical smell or citrus smell, some kind of a good, you know, aroma comes out of it that gets me into the, oh man, I'm into the flavor of the drink now. Versus vodka, I never get that out of a vodka drink. You know, if anything, if you drink something with vodka, it's the other ingredients that are kicking when you drink it that give it an edge versus the vodka itself. Okay. Okay. What the hell's going on? Okay. Got my laptop unfrozen here. Thank you to Rob, who's the first tipper of the day with a $10 tip. He says, I want to thank you extremely and sincerely for being such a massive advocate for disability gaming. It means so much to me that people in similar circumstances, as you well know. Yeah, and you know, over the years, it's funny because, if anything, my eyes have been open to so many things over the years being a content creator. 12 years now. And if anything, it's my audience, knowing that some of my audience have disabilities, but they still enjoy gaming just as much as I do. But that, sadly, because of the lack of accessibility, they can't play nearly half the games, really, that I do, or enjoy them at any of the same capacity that I do. That's unfortunate. I really do feel that there should be accessibility for games, all right? Let me put it this way. There's too many people out there with this get-good mentality, or people shouldn't be able to play games that are hard and stuff. Listen, everyone should be able to enjoy video games. Unless you're talking high-level fucking competition of a video game that's a competitive game, like a sports game or a fighting game. High-level competition, right? If you're not talking high-level competitive play, every fucking game should be accessible. I don't care if it's a platformer like Super Mario, if it's a cover-based shooter, or if it's Dark Souls. They should all be accessible, period. And you might disagree with me, and that's fine if you do. I'm of the opinion they should all be accessible, okay? I'm just being honest here. And I know some people will have, but no, Dark Souls is too hard. You shouldn't have accessibility for that. I don't care. It should, all right? It's not supposed to be every time you pick up a controller, all of a sudden you entered into a high-level internet-based competition to be the best gamer at that game. Some people just want to fucking play games and enjoy them. And if that's your mentality, you're an asshole. You're being very exclusive. You think that only a certain group of people should deserve to play a certain game. Fuck off. Everyone should have accessibility to these games, okay? And if anything, having people like Super Blind Man be a part of my audience and share their experiences with games and accessibility. In particular, my eyes were really open this year with The Last of Us 2, a game that personally I don't like, but seeing the incredible accessibility features of that game for the blind, having an actual sonar system implemented in the game and allowing that game to fully be playable for a blind person, including on the hardest difficulty levels. That is a giant advancement. Seriously. And every game developer should be stepping up and should be trying to implement these kind of accessibility features into their games, in my opinion. And that's my opinion. And again, you could disagree. Fine if you do. But I do feel that way. After talking with people, knowing people like Rob, like Super Blind Man, and many others over the years who 100% are great people. They deserve to play the same fucking games as everyone else. And I get pissed when I hear that they get there's a new AAA game out there and they want to play it and there's just no good accessibility features for it. Well, how do you think that makes them feel? They want to be part of the same enjoyment that we are, and just because they have a disability, now they can't enjoy something that's supposed to be entertainment. Again, this is not every game is high-level competition. They're just trying to sit down and enjoy a game like the rest of us. Why can't they? Okay, so I definitely feel that there should be accessibility for as many games as possible. And I don't think that opinion's ever going to change for me moving forward. So, thank you, Rob, for the $10 tip and getting tipping started. I appreciate that very much. And good to see you today. Tarantula MS 2018 has tipped me $4.20. Says, hey, Phil. How you doing, Tarantula? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the $4 tip. Let's get that added to the leaderboard. I really need to figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. Herikotverts? I don't know how to say it. Herikotverts 33. How do you say that? What does that mean? Because I feel like an idiot reading this and not knowing how to say it. That's perfect. Herikotverts. This can't be correct. It's French. Well, I'm not French. I don't know what the fuck that says. Ericaver. What? What does that mean? Oh my God. I don't know. My brain is melting. Anyway, thanks for the cheer. He says, if most viewers and you as well dislike Watch Dogs Legion, why not play Fall Guys, Street Fighter, or another game? First of all, because we're not enjoying Fall Guys anymore. I dropped it for a reason. We all got bored of it, right? We all got super bored of Fall Guys. And I agree with everyone there that there's just no reason to play it. I already played Street Fighter for the week. When I play it more than once a week, it gets boring. Alright? This is a major release. People want my overall opinion on the game. I've already invested, 4 or 5 major streams into it. I'm not just going to drop it now. I'm going to push to finish it. I'm a content creator. And again, if you guys don't like the game, that's fine. You don't have to be here. You can go do something else and come back when the insane amount of new releases are coming. But I'm of the impression that if you like me as a content creator, and, you know, we could have a good time here. It doesn't matter what game I'm playing. We can just hang out and have a good time, even if the game ain't so great. That's really not the ultimate point of my streams. You know, this is not 2012 DSP, who the only point of my gameplay is gameplay of the game and a full playthrough. That's it. We're having a good interactive social time here on the streams, right? So I hope that would be enough. And if not, if it's not, and you're bored, see you Tuesday. 2 new releases, right? Okay? Okay. Rob tipped me another $4.20. Says, for fuck's sake, do people not remember Bagley and Sabine, or Sabine, I forgot how to say her name, saying physical combat should be a last resort? You're a hacker, not a fighter. Exactly. In the actual plot, in the actual writing of Watch Dogs, the game itself tells you you shouldn't be doing physical stuff all the time because it's a weakness. It's not going to, you know, you're a hacker group. Your job is to get stuff done covertly, under the radar, and get away scot-free. That's why, for example, the drone activator, or the drone operator, is incredibly weak. One of the actual attributes of the character is that they're a weakling. They can't take a lot of damage. But that's why their drones are so powerful, you see? Versus the spy is a tank, but his abilities kind of suck. Hand-to-hand combat stinks in the game. You know, shooting everything with the silenced pistol is boring because it feels like really crappy third-person shooter gameplay that many games have done better. But I think it was designed to be that way so that you would be more apropos to hacking and using things that are more stealth-based, you see? So, you're right, Rob. The game outright tells you don't do combat all the time. Yet what it is, it's very simple, Rob. And we all know this. Anyone who's a frequent viewer of my content, you know this. There's a group of people out there that they want to always spin it like I'm doing something wrong. They want to make it like the reason that this game sucks is because of Phil. Not because of the game, because of Phil. Phil's the reason that everything's bad. Phil's the reason, blah, blah, blah. So how can we spin this that the reason that this playthrough is going on all weekend, but it's not riveting, is because of Phil? Oh, well, we'll say that Phil's just doing the same kind of content, same kind of gameplay over and over, and he's just not innovating. He's not trying the other gameplay of the game. But I did. These people didn't watch the playthrough. All they do is they try to spin it in a way to make me look bad because that's their agenda. Their agenda is not get a good gameplay experience out of Watch Dogs Legion. Their agenda is make Phil look bad as much as possible at all possible times. So it's Phil's fault that the game's not so good because he's only using drones, except I didn't only use drones. In fact, it was only until my 3rd or 4th major stream that I actually got the drone expert, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about because you're a piece of shit. So there you go. Don't worry about it, Rob. Us with logical brains who've been paying attention and actually following the playthrough know what's going on. These shitheads who just want to talk shit about me constantly are the ones who are doing it. So I don't pay attention to them. Homemade Authentic Viewer cheered and said, did you consider doing the jersey goal? Oh, so you mean like if I raise a certain amount of tips, I put on a jersey? I did consider that. And that's certainly not off the table. The problem is the jersey goal kind of overrides the vest goal. And people still seem to want me to put on a vest when I hit $100 in tips. Like if right now we were to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. $50 I put on the gunner glasses, $100 I put on a jersey of your choice. Because there's 3 different jerseys that I have. I have a black and white, gray and black, and white and blue. Okay? Or, and then if we hit $200, then I put on a vest. I could do that, but what would happen is people would probably complain, oh, well, we like the vest, and the vest used to be $100, man. Now, I don't think, if I put on a vest at $100, if I hit $200, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put on a jersey. How do you put on, you can't put on a jersey and a vest. It's not going to work. So that's the problem is, I don't know how to implement 2 different things like that over each other. If anyone had some kind of a suggestion, I'd be more than happy to listen. Okay? But I don't think it's possible to, when you hit one and then the other, one has to come off. And that's why we kind of just stalled at that idea, and I never really followed through on it. Okay? Conversalist cheered and said, Phil, hope we get good, cool missions today. I agree. Yesterday, the reason that the actual stream was interesting was because the story-based missions were actually interesting. Having a plot line where you're going to take people, and I guess if their bodies are breaking down here in real life, You try to upload, scan and upload their existence, their AI, their intelligence, their personality to a cloud, but then, you know, control it and then turn it into a slave, right? What a fucked up idea. And it really kind of was, it was almost like horror in some regards, right? And it was interesting in that. I really liked that plot line. And then making that ultimate choice. Do you upload Sky Larson to the cloud, or do you just end it, right? Making that choice actually made it feel like you had power in the game. I hope we get more missions like that. I don't know if we're going to, but I hope we get more missions like that, because that actually was, for me, was the highlight of the game so far. And I hope that there is more like that in the game, and it's not just generic shit over and over and over. So, Knows Nobody did a 100-bit cheer, which is the biggest cheer of the day, by the way, so I'm going to put Knows Nobody up here on the leaderboard. And he said, can't wait for you to play Demon's Souls. I hope you get your PS5 in time. I mean, obviously, me too. And that is the #1 voted game that people want to see me play on it. I don't think it's going to be as good as if it was the first time I was playing it, because I have played the game twice, and I know I'm probably going to remember a decent amount about it. I'm probably not going to remember everything, but likely I'll remember a decent amount about the game, which means that it's not going to be like it's not a cold run. They didn't redo the whole game. It's the same exact maps. It's the same exact gameplay elements, but they redid everything. The graphics are better. The controls will be better. It'll be fun, and by the way, it's super hard. I mean, Demon's Souls is, I would argue, second hardest game in the series. I actually think Dark Souls 1 is the hardest, but I think that Demon's Souls is right along there, because there's no bonfires, which just, by the fact that there's no fucking bonfires in the game, it makes it tough. And man, when we get to that summon boss, I fully expect to get my ass kicked by whoever's playing the shit out of this game. Day one, they're going to be getting the best gear and going to be that summon boss, and they're going to fuck people's shit up. It's going to take a while to beat that. So, it should be a fun playthrough. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Knows Nobody, for the cheer. Well, Herrick Converts, or Erevair, or however the hell you say their name, cheered and said, speaking of goals, I sadly feel, as do many other longtime viewers, your streams have become too focused on money and tip goals. Well, the thing is, we don't even focus on them anymore, so I don't know what you're talking about. If you put out a good stream, we'll throw cash, maybe tone it down. We don't focus on money and tip goals anymore. You may be talking about 2-3 months ago when it was all about the vest goal, but it's not about that anymore. In reality, I don't care if we hit the goal. I just hope we have a good stream, and that, yeah, obviously I make some money on a stream. That's all I really care about. It's got to be, we have an enjoyable stream, everyone has a good time, and since that's happening, then people want to contribute to see those kind of streams continue, right? That's what it's all about. Putting out the entertaining stream, putting out the positive interactions. If people like that, they're going to want to contribute to make that happen and continue to happen. Versus, oh, we got to hit the goal, we got to hit the goal, we got to hit the goal, we got to hit the goal. I don't talk about that constantly. In fact, even when we had the vestry going, it was mostly the viewers who would constantly talk about the vestry, not me. So, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You need to be talking out of your ass there. Okay. Let us go ahead. Oh, by the way, I will say this. More than a few people already on stream today have said, thank God we're not talking about politics. I agree. And again, just so you guys know, this is a no politics zone here. We're not talking politics on my streams. I know the country is going absolutely fucking crazy with politics right now, and that's not what this is about. Some people seem to be very appreciative of that fact, and I'm happy. I'm happy this is a place you guys can come and hang out with me and just talk games, and we're not going to be talking politics today. We're not. I don't care if there's a definitive winner in a presidential race. I don't care. We're not talking about it. That's not what the stream is about. Okay? Fair enough? Okay, good. Now let's get the shout-outs. Thank you to the following people who are the top cheerers so far this week. Keep in mind, we still got 3 more streaming days in this week, including today. But thank you to those who've cheered so far. In a tie for 9th place, we've got Guy in Time and Monkeyed One. In 8th place, we got Spartan King. Now he's Sir Spartan King, right? In 7th place, it's Golden Colts. 6th place, Ripley Atomic. 5th place, Conversalist. Boy, I can't read today. Conversalist. Sorry about that I botched your name because I'm an idiot. In 4th place, Rob on Wheels. In 3rd place, Sambuca 2020. In 2nd place, Hygienic Streamer Tips. And in 1st place, Ninstar Rune. Thank you guys very much. Also, thank you to the following people who have gifted subscriptions to the channel this week. We've got Wooback Baby, DC Fan 200, Beast Bod, and Big D's, who have all gifted a single subscription. We got Not Elon Just, Django Pops, and Ultimate Cloud 7, who all gifted 2 subs each. We got Cashmere Go, who gifted 3 subscriptions. And Dr. Tony Huge, who is currently the sub-gifting leader with 5 gifted subs this week. Very nice. Okay, so unless someone else has something else to talk about, I think we have completed the pre-stream. Unless there's another topic to go into here. I'm just curious. Anyone, any last questions? Anything to throw out there before we go on a break for me to use the restroom and then we get ready? Do I like turtles? Yes. I think turtles are cool. I like turtles. Yes, I did talk about the console review scores, Galactic Reptile. You must have missed that big segment of the pre-stream. Technical 2070 tipped me $1. So how am I doing today? I would say I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to a full day of streams. I hope that Watch Dogs Legion is as good as it was yesterday. I don't know if it's going to be because we're entering 2 completely different plot lines now. But I hope that they're as good as yesterday because yesterday's stream was actually good. Unlike, I would say, the streams before that were quite dry and boring. So I'm hoping that it will be as good, but I can't promise that. It all depends on what the game has in store for us, I guess. Hello, Super Bat Cat. How are you? Excuse me. Am I going to bring back Call of Duty Battle Royale in the future? Well, Warzone is going to be a part of Black Ops Cold War. But they're saying that Warzone will be exactly the same as Warzone from Modern Warfare. They're not changing the engine. It's going to be the same shit. I didn't like it. I thought it was a terrible battle royal and really didn't enjoy it. So likely I'll probably try it, but I'm not going to commit to playing it at any length since it seems like it's going to be more of the same. In fact, last night we had someone who I don't know if this guy was serious or not, but there was someone who offered the $500. He says, if we'll play Warzone duos, I'll give you $500. And I was like, I'm not committing to it. I don't even know if it's going to be any good. I likely might just play it once and never play it again. I really like the multiplayer of Black Ops Cold War right now. And I even told the guy that I would have him come into a lobby and play that with me if he wanted, and he never responded, so I guess he wasn't too interested. I'm not going to commit to playing the Battle Royale at any length until I've actually played it and see if it's any good, but I don't really have any kind of faith in it. If it is exactly the same as the last Battle Royale, it's probably not going to be very good, and I'll just focus on the regular multiplayer, which I'm okay with. Okay? Okay. Alright, guys. Let's take a break. I'm going to use the restroom. Alright? When I come back, it is Watch Dogs Legion continuing on right here on the stream. Alright, I appreciate that very much. Thanks to everyone who has supported the stream so far this morning. And I'll be back shortly. Gameplay. Thanks. See you in a bit.